let's talk about how to turn strangers into friends. So in the sales industry, it's a very well-known topic that is prospecting. It's this word that when you first start in sales or running a business or wanting to be an entrepreneur, is this a scary word that we hear that is called prospecting. So immediately when we hear that word, we all shut down at the very beginning when we started to run a business, learning sales, or when we want to become entrepreneurs. And that was exactly a case of what happened to me. When I first started wanting to run my business, become an entrepreneur, I come on board into a company that it was going to train me on sales. And immediately when they said the word prospecting, I will freak out, I will shut down, and I will paralyze. But then what happened to me was that I started changing the meaning. So one of the main things that I want to talk to you about today is change the meaning of the word prospecting. Prospecting to me became turning strangers into friends. So when you think about turning strangers into friends, you start realizing that it's not scary to go out there and meet new people. So it's everything about what is your outcome. If you're thinking that you're going out there and meeting people just because you're seeing dollar signs in the top of their head, right? Then of course you're gonna shy away from it because nobody wants to appear salesy. Nobody wants to appear that all you want is money. But when you go out there and you actually start building relationships with the community and start thinking about how can I bring you value first? How can I build a long-term relationship with this person? Then that's when things turn around and you actually start building connections that in the future, they can actually bring you business. So that's exactly what I started doing. What I started doing was going out there and meeting people in different scenarios. I want to give you 3 different ways today on where can you meet people. The first one is you can meet people as you go on your day-to-day. So as simple as when you go grocery shopping, when you're running your errands, when you're thinking about, for example, when you're going, when you're driving and you're gonna go to the gas station. So typically we have these usual places that we go to, restaurants. So what are you doing when you go to these places? Are you shaking the hand of the manager at a restaurant? Are you actually sending a bottle of wine to that manager at a restaurant that treated you world class? What about the doctor when you went to a doctor's appointment to one of your kids? Did you actually connect it with a doctor or it wasn't in and out? Did you send a book, something for the doctor to remember you? So what I started doing was I started to become remarkable wherever I was driving anywhere, wherever I was running my errands, whenever I was at the grocery store, I will make sure that I knew the manager of the grocery store that I was typically going. And what you do is you start creating these places that you typically go, and you keep on going to the same restaurants, 2-3 restaurants you pick that you go for lunch, or 2-3 restaurants that you go for dinner. And then you start tipping well the waiters. So they start getting to know you and you start building relationships with them. You start getting to know them by name. You can send gifts when it's their birthdays. And that way you start building long-term connections. That's number 1. Number 2, it's attending networking events. Attending networking events is extremely important nowadays, more than ever before, because majority of people after the pandemic stay behind the computer. So if you're going out there and meeting people at networking events, you're actually standing out from the crowd. And when you go to a networking event, it's extremely important for you to connect with 3 main people. The 3 main people that you want to connect to is the person that is on the flyer. Number 2, you want to connect with the main organizer of the event. And number 3, you want to make sure that you talk to someone that is a regular person out there networking like yourself, but you actually build a connection with them. A lot of people, when they go to networking events, they just go and pass down their business cards. Then people forget about you. What it's important for you to do is to establish a conversation, a 5-10 minute conversation where you actually get to know with this person. And what we do after that is that we actually call back and we go and we set up a coffee with this person, an actual lunch, and we actually get to build a deeper connection with a person just to get to know them better. And number 3, it's going to be actually ask for referrals. So when you go back and you call, maybe you had already talked to your family members about what you're doing. Maybe you have already built up clients from the past. So most people tend to forget to ask for referrals. How do you ask for referrals? Well, you call back your existing clients, you call back your family members, you call your connections, and you actually ask for referrals. You ask, who do you know that is actually looking for XYZ, whatever is it that you're selling? Who do you know that is actually a good fit for XYZ, whatever you're offering? And when you start asking for referrals, then it becomes easier for you to build a strong list of prospects that are going to be interested in what is it that you're offering. So don't forget to follow us, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and remember these 3 points that are actually going to help you to start turning strangers into friends.